Okay, good morning, folks. Rich Van Tassel here. Today is Monday, April 26, 2016. Giving you a recap of last night's Game 4 between the Los Angeles Clippers and the Portland Trail Blazers. Portland won the game 98-84 to tie the series at 2 games apiece. Obviously, the big story in this game is that Chris Paul broke his hand. It appears he will be done for the playoffs. So we'll certainly wait for more news on that, however that develops. But that's how it's looking now. And a broken hand, it's going to be difficult for him to play. As for the game, I was watching the first half of this game. It wasn't. It was not odd, I'd say, but the Clippers were going deep into their bench. Everybody got run in this game. Obviously, the blowout had to do with it, but they were going deep in their bench early, and their bench was really just not getting it together, even with Jamal Crawford, who won Sixth Man of the Year award. And he will probably be, I would expect he's going to be the guy who's going to move into the starting lineup. Or maybe Austin Rivers. That's something we'll have to see without Chris Paul. It'll actually probably be Austin Rivers to keep Jamal Crawford off the bench. He only had 12 points, though, on 4 for 15 shooting. Paul Pierce did not do anything. 0 for 2 shooting, 1 rebound. Jeff Green was 5 for 10 shooting. He was 17 points, 5 assists, or 5 rebounds. 3 for 6 from downtown. He was their best player off the bench, but Jeff Green is very inconsistent. So that's really what it was in the second quarter, and I noticed that's where Portland started to pull away and get going. Now the bench is obviously going to be asked to do more with some bench players in the starting lineup, and obviously everyone's going to have to pick up their productivity with Chris Paul out. They only shot 35.7%, 7 of 25 from downtown, which is 28%. For the Trailblazers, Al-Farouq Aminu, 30 points, 11 of 20 shooting, 6 of 10 from three-point land. As a Celtics fan, we saw that towards the end of the season. He had a big game against them. Damian Lillard did not do much, 4 of 15 shooting, 2 of 8 from downtown, 12 points, 6 assists, did have 6 rebounds, but certainly Los Angeles Clippers have got to be kicking themselves for not winning these games on the road with Damian Lillard. CJ McCollum was 6 of 13, 19 points. The bench, Allen Crabbe 12 points. Other than that, only 11 bench points. So, hey, this would have been a big game for the Clippers to win. Obviously, you can say with Chris Paul going out, it's a lot difficult to win. A lot more difficult to win. Yeah, I understand that. Just looking at it going into the game, and Chris Paul must have gotten hurt in the third because I didn't see it. But going into the game, the Clippers really had a chance to show that they're a different team. They're a team serious. They're a team that's ready to, move up and try to actually compete for a championship. They won almost 10 more games than Portland this year. You're playing a road game. Portland wins one road game, all right, or one home game, that is, but the Clippers really had a shot in this game and just did not come out. Their bench was not good. And, Portland did make 13 of 31 from downtown, 41.9, but they shot better from 3 than they did from 2, or they did overall, that is. Only 36 of 88, which is 40.9. Again, it's been we've seen that. There was another game, I believe it was Oklahoma City Dallas yesterday, where Oklahoma City shot better from three-point land than they did overall. It actually might have been Charlotte, I'm not sure. But we're seeing teams that aren't shooting only 40% barely, and they're still shooting that well from three-point land. So that's clearly the analytics. That's what they like, shooting the three-point shots. But the Clippers really let one slip away. Will they win the series now? That's going to be very interesting to see without Chris Paul. But Portland has certainly gotten themselves in it. And again, where does Los Angeles turn for their starting lineup replacement? I would expect it to be Austin Rivers, but maybe Pablo Prigioni, probably not. It would have to be Austin Rivers, and then we'll see what moves on from there and how well the Clippers are going to be able to sustain themselves from this point forward. Certainly, you would have to assume a championship's out of the picture, but you got to play the games anyway, whether Chris Paul is playing or not. So there it is. Tonight we have Indiana and Toronto tied at 2-2, and then Boston and Atlanta tied at 2-2. We'll give you the recaps of those games when they come. So be sure to stay tuned. All right, folks, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.